welcome back to my channel. Today is a really crappy, rainy, horrible Auckland summer day. It's been raining for probably on and off for the last 3 days, and today's been absolutely horrible, and I just could not be bothered going out or doing anything or going anywhere. So I thought I'd make a video and create this sunshiny moment to combat this horrible weather. I thought I'd just do something a little bit different, have a little play with color. I think sometimes it's really hard and a little bit scary to incorporate color into your makeup routine. If you like this look and you want me to show you how to create it, keep watching and we'll get straight into it. I'm going to start out by priming using MAC Natural Radiance. I love this primer for oily skin because it really does control that shine, but it also gives your skin that hydration that's so important so that you're not looking dehydrated oily, which is the worst kind. For my foundation, I'm going to be using a combination of the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof and the regular Pro Longwear. This is going to give me a coverage in between the two that's sort of medium to full, and I'm mixing two shades together because I am tanned at the moment. So I'm using an NC40 and an NC15, so they will meet somewhere in the middle and create the color that is my tan at the moment. I really like using this foundation with a wet sponge. I find it gives you that full coverage without it looking cakey. So just make sure that you are taking the time to really work the product into the skin. That is my best tip for giving you a flawless coverage that does not look really heavy and cakey up close and in person. For concealer, I'm going to be using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. Again, what would I do without this product? I really like to apply this just underneath my eyes in a warmer shade. So this is an NW20. This is going to color correct, so cancel out any darkness I've got going on. I do have a little bit of pigmentation on the top of my cheekbones, so I do really like to get that covered and get it nice and color corrected too, so you can't see that darkness shining through. You don't need a lot of this concealer, guys. The coverage is intense, so a little goes a really long way. I also like to apply this to my chin just to cover any acne scarring that I have. I'm now going to go in and bake my chin and my smile lines with some MAC Mineralize Loose Powder in Light. This powder is such a dream, you guys. It is so smooth and so light. It's not heavy at all, so perfect for baking. I used to be really afraid to put any kind of powder on my smile lines, but honestly, baking with this changed my life. I do not crease there anymore, and it is a life savior. So I'm going in with Studio Fix powder now, just through the hot spots of the face to help control the shine and give me the coverage where I need it. Again, I'm going to be using two shades to match my tan, so an NC15 and an NC40. So I'm just going to apply this to my nose and also to my under eyes. This is a really heavy duty coverage, you guys, so if you are going to use it under the eye like me, you don't need a lot of it at all. I basically use it for that just to help really get that coverage on my pigmentation. Otherwise, sometimes it can look like I have a bit of a black eye when that's showing through. I'm also going to take a little bit of this through the T-zone. So along my forehead, this powder is so good for stopping that shine coming through. I'm also going to apply a little bit of this where I normally contour. I contour with a powder, so I don't want it to grab, so I just want to set that first. I'm then going to dust off the baking that I have on my chin. You don't want to leave this on for too long, otherwise it will get dry and tight and do weird stuff. So honestly, just a couple of minutes is all you need before you dust that powder off. Again, blending everything down your neck so that it's nice and seamless. We don't want any of that one face color, one body color thing. And then I'm just using a small brush just to dust off the rest of the powder from my smile lines. So because I've got powder in areas and powder not in areas, I'm going to spray some Fix Plus just to help everything settle in nicely to the skin. So now I'm going to be using Painterly Paint Pot as a base for my eyeshadow. I really love this product too, just for giving you that coverage on the eyelid. It just helps knock back any veininess, any redness, and it's going to give you that base to stop your eyeshadow from creasing and just help the color be true. For today's eye look, I'm going to be using Chrome Yellow eyeshadow, which is, again, a very bright yellow. So I'm just going to be pressing this on with a 239 brush, just so I get that really strong application of color. Yellow is a hard color to get very pigmented, so just really tapping motion all over the eyelid. Following that with Rule, which is a beautiful orange color just on the outer corners of the eye, and blending it back in over the top of the yellow. I'm then going to go in with a 221 brush, which I love. It's like a small version of a 217 and it fits so perfectly in the crease of the eye. I am in love with this brush, you guys. And I am just using a little bit of Red Brick, which again is just a darker orange to the Rule. So I'm just using this to define the crease a little bit. When you are using bright and light colors like this, it's still important to get your definition in. So just focusing this color in through the crease and blending it out towards the edge of the eye to give us that really nice almond shape, and just buffing it out slightly above the crease so that we still have that halo of color when our eyes are open. Also, just going back in and blending the two shades together with this brush helps a lot as well. It gives you that seamless blend. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the tutorial, highlighting. So for my highlight, I'm going to use Soft and Gentle, which I love, with a 109 brush. This is nice and dense, so it will give me a really strong application of color. I like to apply this onto the cheekbone and also just above my eyebrow. I find that catches the light so beautifully. I mean, look at that. Oh! Highlight! More, always more. I also am going to apply this to the tip of my nose. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally love it. I'm also going to apply it to the Cupid's bow, just so that all the high points of my face are glowing and looking snatched. Now it's time for the contour, so I'm going to be using matte bronze with the same brush again, and I'm just wrapping this underneath my cheekbone. I'm also going to put a little bit of this through the temple. And I'm also just going to finish it by putting it underneath my jawline. You know, it never hurt anybody to contour away a little bit of that double chin. If you're someone who's super expressive like me, you'll find yourself in some weird facial expressions that'll give you that nice double chin happening. So just as a safety precaution, we will sculpt that out a little bit. It also just gives your jawline a really beautiful definition too. So after I have done the contouring, I like to just dust whatever's left just onto the hairline. So now I'm going in with MAC Warm Soul Blusher. I love this blush. For someone who tends to get really red in the face like me, it is a nice neutral sort of browny bronzy color. So I'm just applying this just in front of my highlight and my contour and slightly lower where I would normally flush with color, just for a really natural pop of color on that cheek, and making sure to blend this in really well. We want a really nice seamless blush. So then I'm going back in with Red Brick and I am applying this underneath my eye. So this is just going to give us that definition on the bottom lash line, and I'm going to be focusing the depth of the color on the outer corner just to give us that really beautiful almond shape. And I'm going to be taking it in almost 3/4 of the way to the center of my eye. I don't want to take it in all the way and close up my eye shape. I'm now going back in with that 221 and I am just blending all of the edges so that it's all seamless and just melts straight into the skin. So now we need a bit of definition, so I am going in with MAC Feline Eye Pencil while I look incredibly possessed, and I'm applying this to my upper waterline and also to my lower waterline too. So this is just going to give me that real contrast with those colors and make my eyes really pop and give them that definition that I want. So after I've applied this, whilst flipping you guys off, sorry. After I've applied this to the waterline, I'm just going to make sure I've taken it right into the corner of the eye, just so I have that definition all the way around my eyes. This is just going to look so beautiful by the time you get your mascara on, because you're going to have that really black lash line. So I'm going to start with my brows. I really like to brush them up first of all so I can see the base of that brow. I have like an in-depth brow tutorial if you guys want to check that out, but basically I'm using my little angle brush and I'm applying the eyeshadow color Soba to that, just to the front of the brow, so that the inner piece of the brow, so it's going to be a little bit lighter on the inner, tapering off to a darker outer edge of the brow. It's sort of like an ombre effect, you know, just so you can see a little bit more texture and fluffiness at the front of my brow. So now I'm taking the shade Brown Down and I am using that to define the edge of my brow. So the brow is getting darker as it goes towards the outer edge of my face. This is just a really nice way to do a kind of really strong sculpted Instagram brow if you like. And then the last step is to just comb the hairs through again, so we still see a little bit of that brow texture, which is always just really nice, so the brow looks fluffy and soft. Now it's time for lashes. Most important tip I can give you is let that glue get tacky. Oh my goodness, wait. The worst thing is when you try and apply your lashes, the glue isn't tacky, they're just gonna move. If the glue is nice and tacky, you can apply it straight on that lash line and it will grab hold straight away and it won't slip around. So I like to start on that outer corner and I'll get that into place first with my fingers, and then I will use my trusty MAC lash applicators, which are a godsend on applying lashes on yourself, and I will apply the corner of that lash, that inner corner, the infamous inner corner that just loves to ping off and ruin your day. It's really important to get that placement really good and really accurate so that that does not happen and you have these awesome lashes and people are looking at you like, are these your real lashes, girl? And you're like, well, that's what I do anyway. So my next step obviously is mascara. So I'm going to be using the MAC in Extreme Dimension 3D Black. Love this mascara, best in my opinion for the volume, length and curl. I'm applying my mascara after I've applied my false lashes. The reason for this is that I want my lashes and the false lashes to come together and look really seamless. It also it stops it from getting any gaps and from looking too fake. This mascara also, how black it is, I love because it gives you a really dark lash line and you can't tell where your natural lashes finish and the false lashes begin. It's really important to spend a bit of time combing them through too so those lashes intertwine and look not as artificial. My next step is I'm going to add a bit of glitter because why not? So what I'm going to be using for this is a little bit of mixing medium gel, and I'm applying this with a 109 onto that inner corner of my eye. I apply the gel first and then I press the gold glitter over the top. This is just a MAC gold glitter. Be really careful with this around the eyes, guys, because if you do get a piece of that glitter in your eye, it will scratch and it will hurt. So I find applying the gel first and then putting the glitter on top, it just really grabs, and also it's more reflective that way. If you mix the two and try and apply it in one, it doesn't have that really blinding shine that I love. So I'm applying that to the inner corner of the bottom lash line and also just onto the top inner corner as well. Now for bottom lashes, I'm going to be using the Instacurl Lash. This is a new one from MAC, which I love for my bottom lashes. It is just so, the wand, everything just gives you that really full, really spread out lower lash line that everybody loves. Once I have got enough coated on that bottom lash line, which let's face it, there's no such thing as too much mascara. I could be here all day, girl. Next thing, I'm going to move on to my lip. So I'm going to be using MAC Stripdown Pencil. This is just a really nice soft neutral brown, made famous by the old Kylie Jenner before she had her lip kits. This was a sellout at MAC. So this is nice to balance the eye because it's not going to have too much kind of pink or anything to clash. It's just a really nice neutral brown lip liner, and I'm just going to be using this to overdraw my lip a little bit. It's dark enough, it's like a mid-tone brown, so it's dark enough that if you want to overdraw you can without it looking really obvious and seeing your natural lip line. So making sure that you get that overdraw nice and even, and then I'm going to colour in the rest of the lip with that pencil. Once that is on, I'm going to be using the lipstick Japanese Maple, and I'm just going to be filling in the center of the lip with it just to give us a bit of a pop and also a little bit of shine. Once I've got this on, I'm just going to rub my lips together and make sure that that all blends in nicely. So we've got that full juju lip. We don't want any harsh lines, none of that 90s business here. So this is the final look that I've created. I think like most people wouldn't, well, let's get real, most people wouldn't wear a look like this day to day. Some people would. You're awesome, and I think that's so cool. But a lot of people wouldn't. I think it's kind of a cool makeup. It would be cool to go to a festival or kind of like a concert or an event or something that was, I don't know, a little bit crazier. I feel like these sort of sunsetty colours are a lot easier to wear than anything that's like a blue or a purple or a green. It always just looks really pretty. It's quite soft. It's not in your face, although it is quite bright. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas, made you feel a little bit creative, inspired you. This highlight is like Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.